Hey guys, and welcome back. In this video I'm going to be showing you an ultimate guide to the eternal farming in Wrath Classic. So this is where they all spawn and where they are all located and where you can farm each and every single one of them. So this is all in Wintergrass. They all spawn in Wintergrass, which is very convenient. We'll start off with the fire. So this is where you're going to farm them. So if you didn't know, you make the Eternals by turning crystallized fires or whatever, whichever one you are making. You need 10 of the crystallized, which will make one Eternal. So that is how you farm them right here. This is where the fires are located, so right there. And you want to be attacking the big guys, so the big ones, the Revenant or whatever they are. You do not want to be attacking the smaller guys. They do not drop what you're after, so you want to make sure you're on these big fellas right here, and they will drop the crystallized fire. And once you get 10 of those, you simply just click on it and it will turn into an Eternal fire, and that is how you farm the Eternal fire. And this would be the best spot in the game to actually farm it. Now if you have a mote extractor from TBC, you can also, there's some motes that you can extract, which will give you a couple extra around this farm. So there's like clouds, but you can use that on. Anyways, going on to the life. This one is located on the opposite side of Wintergrass, and these guys here, you basically kill the lashes, the mature lashes, and these guys will drop the crystallized life, which once you get 10 of those, like the other ones, like all of them, then you can turn that into an Eternal, and it will be an Eternal life. So as you can see, the ones that I am just marking, these guys here are the ones that have the potential to drop it. As you can see, there's a priest there doing the pull, and basically what you want to do is the exact same thing. Is just grab a mob of them together. Now if you have herbalism, you can also like skin them, like sort of loot them again with herbalism after you kill them and get extra loot. So that is another way to make even more gold on this specific one, but without it you're still going to be making a whole heap of gold just farming the Eternal lives. So once you get 10 crystallized lives, simply click on them and that will make your Eternal life. And now I do recommend selling them as Eternals instead of the crystallized version, just because the Eternals usually go for a bit more, because the people have had to go out there and actually get 10 of the crystallized version to turn them into the Eternal. So it usually goes for a little bit more. Sometimes they're exactly the same, but I recommend selling them as Eternals. It's just a lot easier to sell them. So as you can see right there, we have the Eternal life. Now moving on to the Shadow. This one is just across from where we were just at, not far whatsoever. And you want to be killing these big guys, and they're obviously going to be dropping the crystallized shadow. And then once you get 10 of those, turn them into your Eternal shadows. So you can see the darker patch on the map right here. That is where they're going to spawn, all around here. And there should be like 5 or 6 spawns, and you can just run around each single one of them and down them. And by the time you get to the other one, they should start respawning and you can continue your farm. Now to make the shadow farm even better, of a gold farm, you can actually have mining and herbalism, and there's a couple nodes that you can come across when you're actually doing this. That is also worth looting up and mining, like herbing and mining while you're doing that. But that is not, it's not a requirement, it just adds to the gold per hour. You can do that while you're waiting on the respawns of the bigger mobs. So as you can see, we've nearly got 10 of the shadows. We do now, and that makes our Eternal shadow. Now with all of these, I recommend checking the auction house, seeing which one is worth the most in your auction house, and then just simply farm that one, or whichever one you have professions that match with it the best. So moving on to the water, you want to farm these big guys. Make sure you're not farming the little like water elements that are to the side there. Make sure you're farming the big guys. They're the ones that drop the crystallized water, and once you get 10 of those, then you can turn that into your Eternal water. And these guys are all spread out, basically just all through the water in the middle of Wintergrass. And so they're very easy to find. Now if you have mining, there is a couple of nodes that will be available, and a couple of herbalism nodes. so you could also get them while you're flying around farming your eternal waters. Now I would say the waters are a bit harder to farm because some of them are underwater, so you have to go underwater to farm them, but that will make the price a bit higher when people really need them in specific phases. Anyways, moving on to the earth, these guys here are spread out all around like the middle patch, and basically like I showed on the first map, they're in them exact locations, and there's a whole heap of these guys that spawn. I believe there's like 8 or so, there's a couple more, but they're spread out like a further distance. They also have another respawn spot to the west of here that you can go over there once all these guys have been killed and you're waiting on your respawns. But like the others, if you have mining and herbalism, you can actually mine these exact mobs after you loot them, but the main thing is there could be some nodes and herbs around just when you're going from mob to mob that you could grab for a little bit of extra gold. As you can see right there, we just got a green BOE, so if you had even enchanting, like the enchanting ult, that's what I'm going to be doing with that, is sending it to my enchanting ult and then disenchanting it, selling the gems for a little extra gold right there. Just instead of vendoring the greens, it's always better, especially right now while we're in the start of Wrath. The gems, the enchanting gems, just go for like way too much. Like it's definitely worth. There you go. We just had 10 crystallized earths. We turned them into the eternal earth. So moving on to the air now. Now these guys are basically all spread out along the bottom part here, so the south part of Wintergrasp, and they're spread out a bit further apart. I'd say these ones the most spread out of all of them, and probably making them the hardest to farm. But also saying that, if you have mining and herbalism, you can actually get a whole heap of nodes going from mob to mob here, farming these guys. So that is always a bonus and can add up and equal out the gold per hour. But as you can see, they're spread out like kind of along the edge here at the bottom part. I believe there is another guy farming the airs right now, as I am too. So there's normally a couple more spawns up a bit quicker than right now. But as you can see, they're still there, and you can just go from one side to the other, and you should eventually find some. I'd say the best ones for respawns and like closest together would be the fires, and I believe they're going for the most, like the lives and the fires. Them two are currently the highest priced at the moment on my server anyways. Could be completely different on your server, so you have to check your auction house before going out and farming internals. And I recommend just going with the highest earning one, like the highest priced one. That way you can make the most gold for your time, because they're kind of pretty much the same. Depending if you have herbalism, I would recommend doing the lives, because you can get extra herbs and stuff from them after you actually kill them and loot them up, so it's kind of a bit better. But you have to have herbalism. If you would like more gold making tips and tricks, farming spots, my gold making guide for Wrath Classic will be the first link down the description box below the video. Till the next one guys, take care.